6 months after you left, the two of them disappeared. I don't know where they went." Wang Lin gave Sima Yan a cold glance, no longer bothering to waste words with him. With his left hand, he formed a sword with his fingers and suddenly pointed them at the center of the man's forehead. Soul-searching technique was once again unleashed by Wang Lin. Sima Yan's body convulsed violently as fresh blood poured from his 7 orifices. His eyes bulged, as if they were about to explode. Wang Lin's divine sense continued to search through Sima Yan's mind, and the memories from the past year and more instantly appeared before him, without a single detail hidden. 6 months after he left, 13 and Tiger Roar had an argument. Tiger Roar didn't intend to wait any longer and planned to leave the camp and return to the tribe, while 13 was determined to stay and wait for Wang Lin's return. In the end, Tiger Roar left, but his departure was unsuccessful. Sima Yan intervened, easily capturing Tiger Roar. Using the excuse of violating military regulations, he crippled his cultivation and threw him into the Black Prison. 3 months later, Tiger Roar mysteriously disappeared from the Black Prison. The Black Prison was heavily guarded, and even Sima Yan didn't know how Tiger Roar had vanished. As for 13, when Sima Yan captured Tiger Roar, he assisted Tiger Roar, but in the end, he couldn't match Sima Yan's strength. Sima Yan crushed all his bones and was about to throw him into the Black Prison as well. However, the general saw this and took the nearly dead 13 away. These memories unfolded before Wang Lin's eyes. His eyes gleamed coldly, and in a fit of rage, he sneered and repeated 3 times, "Good." The coldness in his eyes deepened as he looked at Sima Yan, whose eyes were bulging with his pupils scattering. The slaughter immortal art immediately circulated, and Sima Yan's body began to wither at a visible rate. Moments later, Sima Yan's body exploded with a loud bang, breaking apart into pieces of flesh scattered around. At the same time, wisps of gray mist floated out from the flesh and instantly gathered between Wang Lin's right hand's fingers. The slaughter immortal art was hard to refine, but under Wang Lin's fury, it was successfully refined from Sima Yan's body. After killing Sima Yan, Wang Lin looked toward the large, black-armored man not far away. According to Sima Yan's memories, this man was the one who took 13, who was on the brink of death. Wang Lin took a step forward, instantly appearing before the man, and coldly said, "Where is 13? The black-armored man looked up at Wang Lin, silent for a long time before speaking. "The person you're looking for, is he the barbarian who was crippled by Sima Yan 6 months ago? If so, then looking for me won't help you. The demon general ordered years ago to find people with strong enough bodies. That barbarian gathered all his demonic aura in his body, using a peculiar method to refine his physique. His body strength met the demon general's requirements. After I saw him, I treated his injuries and then handed him over to the demon general. If you have the ability, don't try to show off here. Do you dare go to the demon general and demand him? Rest assured, I won't lie about this. It's all true." The man looked at Wang Lin with a cold smile. "You saved 13 and handed him over to the demon general, so your merits and faults balance out. I won't kill you." Wang Lin's expression was dark, and he stepped forward. His body instantly turned into a wisp of green smoke, heading straight for the palace at the heart of the ancient demon city where the demon general resided. The black-armored man had a daring look when he spoke. He had already accepted his defeat at Wang Lin's hands and had no intention of surviving. Hearing Wang Lin's words, he was momentarily stunned. Looking up and seeing Wang Lin's green smoke in the sky, he hesitated before speaking. "The demon general has been in seclusion for half a year. All teleportation arrays have been sealed. If you want to go, you'll have to break into the palace. I've said all I know." After speaking, he touched his chest and walked away. He was badly injured and needed to retreat to his quarters to heal. Wang Lin transformed into green smoke as he sped through the air, expanding his divine sense to scan. All teleportation arrays leading to the demon general's location within the ancient demon city were locked down. This lock was internal, not related to the formation's restrictions. Unless the demon general himself opened it from within, it was impossible to teleport. 13 and Tiger Roar came to the ancient demon city because of me, yet they were dragged into this mess. Wang Lin sighed inwardly. When he left, he never expected to fall into a deep slumber in that cave, causing an unfortunate chain of events that harmed 13 and Tiger Roar. There are things in this world that must be done and things that should not be done. Cultivators seek immortality and wish to free themselves from the bonds of fate. They should avoid disaster and embrace fortune. 13 and Tiger Roar are not close to me, but for their sake, I'm about to defy the Demon General and the Celestial Demon Province. It is said that a wise man doesn't stand under a dangerous wall, and in this case, it's not worth it. But I, Wang Lin, walk through the world, not seeking to follow rules or embrace fate, but to live without regrets. I am neither a sage nor a villain, neither sincere nor deceitful. I am simply a person who does what must be done out of obsession. From this perspective, I am not suited to be a true cultivator. However, there are things that I must do. If I don't save 13, what have I been seeking in my cultivation? Wang Lin raised his head to the sky, his resolve firm. There are 6 gates between the military camp and the Demon General's palace. Without a teleportation array, one must break through each gate before entering the inner sanctum. The gates are heavily guarded, and the area is enveloped by a formation, making teleportation impossible. Outside the 6th gate, Wang Lin appeared. The gate stood about 10 meters tall, surrounded by connecting outer walls, and the light from the formation's restriction shimmered across it. As soon as Wang Lin appeared, a shout came from the gate's guards. "Stop right there. Leave immediately. If you take another step, you will be killed without mercy." Wang Lin looked up, his eyes cold as ice. He took a deep breath, reached into his storage pouch, and the immortal sword flew out, circling in front of him. Within it, Su Ligua's angry shouts could be heard. The moment the immortal sword appeared, the guards outside the 6th gate immediately showed killing intent, their eyes fixed on Wang Lin. Wang Lin stepped forward, and the guards rushed toward him, unleashing their demon power to stop him. But Wang Lin didn't slow down. With each step, the immortal sword howled, speeding ahead. Anyone attempting to block his path was met with the sword's radiance. The sounds of agonized groans echoed as Wang Lin leaped into the air, landing atop the immortal sword. He charged straight toward the 6th gate. Before he even reached it, sword radiance shot out, forming a beam of light that smashed into the gate. Boom! The 6th gate shattered into countless pieces, which were swept back. On the square behind the 6th gate, and between the 5th gate, thousands of demon soldiers were caught by the debris and forced to retreat. As the 6th gate crumbled, Wang Lin advanced. "I want to see the Demon General." His voice was calm, but carried an undeniable authority that spread through the air. "Kill!" A roar of rage erupted from the thousands of demon soldiers on the square. Their mission was to kill any intruder during the Demon General's seclusion. Facing the thousands of demon soldiers, Wang Lin remained composed, his gaze cold. He leaped forward, stepping off the immortal sword, formed a hand seal, and with a wave, a strange wind rose. It turned into a hurricane vortex, sweeping across the square and clearing a path through the soldiers. Wang Lin marched across the square and arrived at the 5th gate. Without hesitation, he raised his right hand, formed a seal, and gathered his immortal power. He pressed it against the 5th gate. Boom! The 5th gate collapsed, the powerful shockwave scattering its pieces in all directions like a storm. Beyond the 5th gate, tens of thousands of demon soldiers had already anticipated the intrusion. As the 5th gate fell, the soldiers shouted in unison. Their demon power coalesced in an unusual way, forming an oppressive aura. At the moment the gate shattered, the demon aura surged forward. Wang Lin, with his cultivation, was forced to take a few steps back to avoid the brunt of the attack. At the same time, he tapped his storage pouch, and 3 nameless sword sheaths from Vermilion Bird Star flew out. Then, 3 sword energies erupted from the sheaths like furious dragons, colliding with the demon aura and creating a violent clash. The ground seemed to tremble with the explosions. Wang Lin turned into a bolt of lightning, with the immortal sword leading the way. He charged into the 5th gate. The tens of thousands of demon soldiers formed a wall of demon power to block him. Wang Lin's eyes flashed as he pulled out the forbidden banner. With a shake, countless restriction seals transformed into black mist, swirling around his body like black dragons. With the sword sheaths, sword energy, immortal sword radiance, and the forbidden banner's black mist, Wang Lin tore through the soldiers like a hot knife through butter. At this moment, the thousands of soldiers outside the fifth gate rushed in from behind, attempting to encircle Wang Lin. Demon General, Wang Lin seeks an audience. Wang Lin's voice rang out, slowly spreading. He believed that even if the Demon General was in seclusion, he would surely hear him. But as time passed, the Demon General showed no sign of responding. Now surrounded by demon soldiers, Wang Lin's eyes grew cold. He had refrained from killing thus far, but now he had no choice. Facing the encirclement, Wang Lin raised his thumb. The power of the annihilation finger manifested in that instant, and the heavens and earth seemed to change color. Within 100 feet, all the demon soldiers immediately froze, their bodies rapidly withering as their blood, flesh, and demon power rushed into Wang Lin's thumb. Wang Lin moved like lightning, charging toward the fourth gate. No one could stop him. In an instant, his thumb pressed against the fourth gate. Boom! The fourth gate collapsed. At that moment, an ancient figure stepped out from within, and a tremendous aura of demon power transformed into a giant serpent, lunging toward Wang Lin with its jaws open. "Get back!" a hoarse voice shouted at that moment. Wang Lin's thumb collided with the giant serpent formed by the demon power. In that instant, Wang Lin took a step back, and the giant serpent let out a mournful cry as its body began to crumble, inch by inch. Behind the serpent, an elderly figure suddenly flickered and let out a muffled groan. His body staggered backwards several paces before he finally steadied himself. Wang Lin took a step forward and crossed the fourth gate. Before him stood not only countless demon soldiers, but also an old man with silver hair. Wang Lin was no stranger to this old man. He was the same person who, over a year ago, had accompanied the steward and the military officer to the black armored army camp. The old man's face was pale, and his eyes were filled with disbelief. Over a year ago, he had seen Wang Lin, and at that time, their cultivation levels had been almost the same. But now, upon encountering him again, the other's cultivation had skyrocketed. Had it not been for his earlier use of the demon soldier's power and his unlocking of all the seals within his body, making it a near ambush, he would never have been forced back. Wang Lin stepped into the area, and the power of annihilation finger manifested once more. The old man let out a low growl, immediately unleashing his demon power. The giant serpent reappeared, and the old man merged into it. In an instant, it lunged toward Wang Lin again. Since the demon general refuses to show himself, then don't blame me for unleashing slaughter. Wang Lin's eyes flashed with coldness as the slaughter chi leaked out from between his fingers, quickly spreading and merging into the surroundings. A deep crimson glow surged in his eyes, filled with a boundless killing intent. At this moment, the slaughter immortal art was unleashed without hesitation. The slaughter chi spread across the heavens and earth. Wang Lin did not engage the giant serpent, but instead flickered like lightning, charging into the ranks of demon soldiers. With a wave of his hand, spells were cast, and demon soldiers fell one after another. Thousands of demon soldiers from the fifth and sixth gates surrounded Wang Lin, charging at him with frenzied intent. Their demon powers merged, forming various formations. Once these formations took shape, they immediately condensed the demon power of all the demon soldiers, sometimes transforming into demon beasts, sometimes into demon weapons. Amidst the thunderous roars and multicolored divine abilities, they continuously attacked Wang Lin. Faced with these demon soldiers, Wang Lin came to a profound realization. In the land of demonic spirits, the power of one individual could never defy the heavens. A single person's cultivation, unless they possessed divine abilities beyond imagination, would find it nearly impossible to break through the combined forces of countless demon soldiers using formations. He could kill 1, 10, 100, 1,000, or even 10,000. But after each killing, his immortal power would be drained. Around him, Wang Lin's magical treasures, the immortal sword, curved dagger, forbidden banner, and sword sheath, were manipulated by his divine sense, unleashed in a relentless wave of slaughter. Compared to these magical treasures, the slaughter immortal art had a far greater advantage. With each kill, the power of the slaughter immortal art grew stronger. Though no demon soldiers might condense slaughter chi within their bodies, The continued killing gradually reduced the range of its effect. Wang Lin's eyes burned with killing intent as various divine abilities and spells continuously transformed in his hands. However, there were too many demon soldiers around him. Once their demon powers merged, their combined abilities were incredibly strong. Even though Wang Lin had reached the perfect late infant metamorphosis stage, his immortal power was rapidly depleting. Wang Lin slapped his storage pouch, and a large number of immortal jades immediately flew out, swirling around his body. With a breath, these immortal jades turned to ash, replenishing his immortal power. This cycle continued, but the consumption of immortal jades was staggering. Demon Transformation Finger. Wang Lin did not invoke his demonic thoughts, but instead used the perfect late infant metamorphosis stage's cultivation to execute his second killing move. As the demon transformation appeared, the demon power in the air was violently pushed aside by a wave of demonic aura. Wang Lin's right index finger, like the death-dealing Yama, pressed forward. Instantly, a series of booming sounds echoed within 100 paces of him. Countless demon soldiers exploded as the demonic energy entered their bodies. The earth was soon dyed in blood, and Wang Lin took a step forward, carving a bloody path through the thousands of demon soldiers, heading straight for the third gate. With a single finger, the blood on the ground transformed into a blood dragon, surging toward the demon transformation finger. The old man, now in the form of a giant serpent, attempted to stop the blood dragon. However, in the instant of his interference, his body exploded. He died under the demon transformation finger. The blood dragon driven by the demon transformation finger crashed into the third gate. With a deafening rumble, the third gate shattered. As it crumbled, over 10,000 demon soldiers poured out, among them 5 elderly figures with silver hair. Their eyes glowed like lightning, and as they stepped out with the demon soldiers, they locked their gaze on Wang Lin. Wang Lin let out a quiet sigh. He had reached his limit here. The 5 elderly figures, each of whom had cultivation levels no weaker than the perfect late infant metamorphosis stage, had emerged. Along with the tens of thousands of demon soldiers around him, Wang Lin knew that to break through the second gate, he would have to use his final trump card. The killing strike taught to him by Sima Nan, Wang Lin's most powerful divine ability, capable of shaking the heavens and nearing the third killing move of a low-level immortal technique. The land of demon spirits values military authority above all. This statement is indeed true. If I had hundreds of thousands of demon soldiers who were as powerful as those in the core formation stage, even those seeking the pinnacle of cultivation would still be defeated. If I had millions of demon soldiers at the same level, along with some commanders or generals of the highest rank, combined with formations, I would dare to battle even cultivators in the later stages of the Tao-seeking realm. Similarly, if I controlled a demon emperor's province, commanding hundreds of millions of demon soldiers, with demon commanders and generals under my rule, even cultivators who had reached the realm of yin-yang duality and Tao-seeking would have nothing to fear. With a deep sigh, Wang Lin faced the tens of thousands of demon soldiers and the 5 elders who were at the late infant metamorphosis stage. He raised his little finger and slowly swept it forward with a casual motion. Netherworld. Wang Lin muttered these 2 words softly. The Netherworld finger, the ultimate move among the 3 killing techniques. It was nearly on par with low-grade immortal arts. Even Sima Nan had hesitated greatly when he first taught it. As his finger pointed, the sky suddenly darkened, and bolts of lightning erupted, slashing across the heavens. At the same time, it felt as if the entire sky was being pushed aside by a single hand, revealing a massive landscape painting that spread across the horizon. With this netherworld finger, Wang Lin's divine ability of mental state was awakened. A rush of gray mist surged from the sky, expanding rapidly and merging at an unimaginable speed, forming another netherworld finger, crafted from the gray mist. Wang Lin's hair stood on end, as if blown by the wind. His eyes burned with killing intent, and his body was shrouded in gray mist, complementing the newly formed netherworld finger in the sky. A single flick of his finger, and the tens of thousands of demon soldiers surrounding him froze in place. Waves of gray mist suddenly poured out from their heads and rapidly merged into the gray mist of the netherworld finger in the sky. At the same time, Wang Lin's body rose into the air, merging with the netherworld finger. In this moment, the only thing left in the world was that one finger, the netherworld finger. Merging within the netherworld, Wang Lin suddenly charged forward, heading straight for the second gate. The five elders, though shaken by the might of the netherworld finger, gritted their teeth and charged forward, unleashing their demon power to block the attack. However, they underestimated the power of the netherworld finger. When Wang Lin was at the mid-infant metamorphosis stage, this move had allowed him to fight with Sun Tao, who was in the mid-Dao seeking stage. Though he lost, the power of the netherworld finger left Sun Tao greatly shaken. Now, at the peak of the late infant metamorphosis stage, the netherworld finger in Wang Lin's hands could threaten even Dao-seeking cultivators. This was Wang Lin's true killing move. With a single flick of his finger, the five elders spat blood, their bodies involuntarily retreating, unable to stop Wang Lin even a single step. Before Wang Lin even approached the second gate, it collapsed under the force of his netherworld finger. Inside, there was no demon soldier, only a single person. This person was short in stature, but his eyes were like lightning. At the instant the second gate collapsed and Wang Lin's netherworld finger descended, he let out a low growl, forming a seal with both hands like a cultivator, pressing them together in front of him and pushing forward. A sound like a storm sweeping across the land echoed, as Wang Lin's netherworld finger stopped just 3 inches from the person's hands. Between his hands, a small, fist-sized ball formed. It was white in color, crackling with black lightning that flashed constantly. The short person held his ground for 3 breaths, but then his body was forced to slide backward, leaving deep marks on the ground. He wasn't retreating willingly, but was pushed back by Wang Lin's netherworld finger. He had no choice but to retreat. He knew that if he resisted further, he would never be able to withstand the force of the finger. If he tried to take it head-on, his body would be torn apart. As he retreated, he was sent back over 100 feet. The short man let out a low growl and stopped, his hands 3 inches from the netherworld finger, which spun like a vortex, draining his vitality. Commander Wang, I am the first deputy commander under the Demon General's command. What exactly do you want? I want to see the Demon General, Wang Lin said as he spoke, and from behind him, outside the second gate, a massive wave of gray mist poured from the tens of thousands of demon soldiers once more. These mists, ancient and frail, immediately merged into Wang Lin's body from all directions. This was the power of the netherworld finger. The immense gray mist flooded into Wang Lin, and he knew with certainty that each strand of mist represented a life. As they entered his body, the power of the netherworld finger reached its peak. The short man immediately sensed the terrifying surge in power. His face turned pale, and he retreated once more. This time, his back hit the first gate, and with a loud crash, the first gate collapsed. At the same time, the short man coughed up blood, his body sent flying. As he was thrown, a tall figure stepped out from the first gate. Without hesitation, this figure launched a fist directly at Wang Lin's netherworld finger. In that instant, Wang Lin felt the battle intent within the incoming fist with absolute clarity. The will of the 10 collapse fist. It surged forth like a tidal wave, an unstoppable force sweeping over everything. First collapse, second collapse, third collapse. In the blink of an eye, the will of the 10 collapse fist arrived like a furious tide, each wave stronger than the last. 7th collapse, 8th collapse, 9th collapse. Endless punches filled with intent, as if heaven and earth merged together and crashed down. Wang Lin's netherworld finger, at this moment, was wrapped in a thick gray mist, and his eyes were filled with a terrifying killing intent. 10th collapse. There was a deafening explosion, and around Wang Lin and the shadow, the earth seemed to be torn apart, rapidly expanding outwards in violent waves that spread for miles. The waves were so intense, they resembled the surface of the ocean, spreading and covering a 10-mile radius. Under this immense power, Wang Lin's body was forced back, leaving 2 deep tracks in the ground under his feet, retreating 3 zhang before he stepped his right foot back to stop himself. As the 10-mile-wide ripple spread, the demon soldiers' bodies that had been absorbed by the netherworld aura were reduced to ash, scattered along with the earth's vibrations. Moreover, within the 10 miles, the buildings and lofts crumbled to pieces. The shattered bodies and debris formed a violent shockwave that spread far and wide. Only those whose cultivation was equivalent to the infant metamorphosis stage could barely resist, managing to survive the storm with all their might. At the same time, the killing immortal art, transformed into a murderous gray mist, drifted towards Wang Lin from all directions, condensing into 4 distinct strands. When combined with the one from Sima Yan earlier, it formed 5 gray wisps, which swirled around the gaps between Wang Lin's left fingers like 5 azure dragons. A marvelous finger technique. A deep voice echoed from ahead of Wang Lin. As the dust cleared, the powerful figure of the demon commander revealed itself. After finishing these words, the figure swiftly adjusted his stance, forcibly halting his retreat. His demon power surged wildly within his body, stabilizing him. His eyes flashed with lightning speed as he took a step forward, covering 3 zhang in an instant. At the same time, his right hand slapped forward. Immediately, the winds and clouds gathered, and the flat land within 10 miles seemed to turn into a vast ocean. With a single strike, the ocean roared and surged towards Wang Lin. "Take this, the demon sea wave. Only then will you be worthy to converse with me." Wang Lin retreated again. Almost instantly, he sensed the shift in the demonic energy around him. This energy, once ethereal and intangible, now felt solid, transformed into an invisible ocean under the demon commander's ability. With the slap of his hand, the ocean surged forward, crashing towards Wang Lin. Compared to the 10 collapse fist, the demon sea wave was even more powerful, and the divine ability it contained seemed to surpass the fist's will. Faced with this solidified strike from the demon sea, Wang Lin's mind flashed with a thought. Many years ago, there was a rumor about the demonic sea of the Vermilion Bird Star. It was said that a powerful cultivator, through a single divine technique, transformed the real sea into a mist. This was the unique nature of the demonic sea. When Wang Lin first heard the legend, although shocked, he couldn't quite believe it. But today, witnessing the demon commander turn the ethereal demonic aura into a tangible ocean was not only shocking, but also left him deep in thought. Within the demon sea technique, waves surged one after another, and before long, the 30 waves arrived, crashing down on Wang Lin. Retreating did not signify failure. Instead, it was a strategy to think of a way to counterattack. The 30 waves of the demon sea merged, howling as they relentlessly pursued Wang Lin. While retreating, Wang Lin quickly formed hand seals, casting several restrictions in front of him to block the waves. However, these restrictions shattered like fragile paper under the onslaught of the waves, dissipating into black sparks as they vanished into the air. As the waves grew more ferocious, Wang Lin's eyes flickered, and just as he was about to retrieve Yao Shishue's blood jade talisman from his storage pouch, a golden rune suddenly appeared in his mind. The rune appeared unexpectedly, yet it seemed to imprint itself into Wang Lin's consciousness. He ignored it and immediately took out a handful of blood jade talismans, retreating as he crushed them, causing a burst of bloodlight to engulf his body. The bloodlight surrounded Wang Lin as the 30 waves crashed upon it. Thunderous explosions echoed as if the waves were smashing against rocks. The bloodlight held for a few moments before it shattered, and the demon waves came surging back. With each wave getting closer, the golden rune in Wang Lin's mind grew clearer and deeper. His gaze shifted, and with his cultivation at this level, his body had already achieved immortal power, reaching a level of profound clarity. There was no reason for such a sudden appearance of a thought in his mind during battle. At this moment, the golden rune flickered violently, as if it was trying to break free and fly out of Wang Lin's mind. Under the interference of this golden rune, his thoughts were in disarray, and even the operation of his immortal power was affected by the golden light in his mind. Wang Lin's gaze shifted as a thought crossed his mind. "There's no smoke without fire," he mused. The divine rune in his mind might not be without purpose. With a sudden realization, he opened his mind and allowed his right hand to move instinctively, drawing a seal. Immediately, the gray mist between his fingers dispersed and gathered in front of him. Wang Lin swiftly traced the air with his right index finger. With one stroke, a gray mist dragon twisted and transformed into a rune. As soon as the rune was formed, Wang Lin clearly felt all his thoughts align, and an overwhelming sense of release surged within him. The moment the rune appeared, the demon general behind the waves grew serious. To him, this rune seemed powerless, but the fact that Wang Lin could manifest such a divine ability at such a critical moment proved he was far from ordinary. Wang Lin's right index finger didn't stop. Following the rune, another stroke was made, layering another gray mist onto the first rune. In the blink of an eye, 2 strokes had formed. The demon general's eyes grew even more intense. The moment the second rune formed, he felt a sense of overwhelming power, as if facing the might of the heavens. Wang Lin's finger moved again. A third rune manifested, and as it formed, the golden rune in his mind immediately dissolved into a golden force that merged into the 3 runes. At that moment, a vast and formidable aura suddenly erupted from the rune. The power was immense, and the demon general's heart sank. Without hesitation, he raised the waves from 30 to 60, slamming his hand forward. With a thunderous roar, the rune collided with the demon waves, and the first 30 waves collapsed instantly. The golden rune's glow faded, and when another 30 waves arrived, it merged with them, turning into nothingness. However, from within the golden glow that turned to nothingness, 3 streaks of gray mist shot out, piercing through the demon sea and heading straight for the demon general. The demon general's gaze sharpened, and he shouted, "Jia, open!" With a single command, a barrier of demon power appeared silently 7 feet in front of him. The 3 streaks of gray mist struck the barrier, causing it to shake violently. The gray mist rebounded, slightly dimmed. Good rune technique, Wang Lin. I underestimated you before, but watching these runes, there are still many changes to come. If you manage to unleash them all, let's see if you're ready for a real battle. The demon general's eyes glinted with excitement, and he laughed as he took a step forward. Where's 13? Wang Lin asked coldly. Let's talk after the fight. The demon general laughed heartily, his eyes blazing. Wang Lin's gaze flashed as he took several steps back. My final killing move. Once used, you will definitely die. Oh, then show me. If you really can kill me, I'll accept it. The demon general's body swayed, and 40 waves of demon sea surged forward, rushing towards Wang Lin. Even if I kill you, I probably won't be able to survive in the celestial demon province. Watch carefully and see if you can withstand this strike. You'll know the answer yourself. Wang Lin didn't attempt to engage with the 40 waves of the demon sea. Instead, he soared into the air, hundreds of feet above, suddenly looking down. The demon general's eyes gleamed with a strange light. With a thought, the 40 waves of the demon sea immediately retreated, circling around him. At that moment, he appeared as if he were worshipped by 40 sea dragons, a true sea demon deity. Wang Lin, suspended in midair, closed his eyes. The demon general's strength far exceeded his expectations. The 10 collapse fist was merely one of his techniques. The demon sea with its 100 waves was his true trump card. Wang Lin wasn't sure if the demon general had even more lethal moves, but he didn't want to find out. Though this man's cultivation was equivalent to Wang Lin's late stage of infant metamorphosis, his divine abilities were far superior to Wang Lin's. In terms of divine abilities, Wang Lin had to admit he was lacking. Even with his magical treasure, Wang Lin wasn't fully confident he could defeat this person. For the first time in hundreds of years of cultivation, he found himself facing someone of equal cultivation and realizing that victory was far from certain. A slight misstep could lead to his downfall. Moreover, he was in the demon general city, and Wang Lin was here to save 13. If he got injured, the chances of saving 13 would likely vanish. Thus, realizing he had no guarantee of defeating his opponent, Wang Lin's thoughts turned to clever strategies. Suspended in midair, he closed his eyes, his mind replaying the moment years ago in the shattered immortal realm when he had seen that massive handprint. Back then, Wang Lin had spent a long time contemplating beside that handprint. When he fought Hong Dai, he even used his insight to launch that one move, though it was only a shadow of a move, without any real attacking power. But this technique, nearly no one could see through it. After all, when it appeared, the momentum had already reached an unimaginable level. The massive handprint in Wang Lin's mind slowly took shape. His mental state adjusted to the insight from that time. Suddenly, he opened his eyes, and a mysterious glint flashed in them. With a glance, as he looked down at the land, he suddenly felt as though he were gazing down upon all of humanity. As for the demon general, in his eyes, the general seemed no different from an ant. This gaze was seen by the demon general, and for the first time, his mind was violently shaken. This gaze, the only time I felt something similar was when I first looked at the ancient demon statue in the ancient demon hall. Even the demon emperor doesn't possess such a gaze. The demon general trembled, and the demon waves around his body instantly began to spin uncontrollably at high speed. Wang Lin extended his right hand and pressed downward. As his hand pressed, the sky darkened, and various strange auras began to gather from all directions. Beneath Wang Lin, a massive palm print suddenly formed. A single press. As soon as the palm print appeared, it instantly descended from the sky. An irresistible, unresistible, and even unavoidable feeling surged within him. It was as though this palm strike embodied heaven and earth, capable of annihilating worlds and destroying all life. This feeling surrounded his heart, and the demon general's body trembled uncontrollably. Although the palm had not yet fallen, the mere pressure from its aura nearly shattered his fighting spirit. The demon general roared in struggle, an unwilling emotion surging within him. He looked up at the rapidly descending palm print, and his fighting spirit surged wildly. Even if you are heaven and earth, I will fight. Even if you can destroy the world, I will fight. Even if you can annihilate all living things, you cannot destroy the fighting spirit in my heart. With a sudden leap, he shot up into the air, letting out an indomitable roar that echoed through the heavens and earth. The demon waves around his body surged and transformed into countless sea dragons, charging into the sky. The palm print fell, and the demon general's fighting spirit reached its peak, but at that moment, it was as if a gentle breeze had brushed his face. The palm print swept across his body without any change or effect. The demon general was stunned. This expression had not appeared on his face for a long time. What followed was a lingering after effect, as if life and death had flashed in an instant. You are already dead. Wang Lin's body descended from the air, looking at the demon general. The demon general's face was complex. He looked at Wang Lin, a trace of doubt rising in his heart. He slowly spoke. What kind of divine art is this? Wang Lin's expression was calm as he spoke flatly. This move has no name. The demon general was silent for a moment. The demon waves around his body quickly retracted into him, disappearing entirely. He looked at Wang Lin and said, "This move? You haven't fully learned it." Wang Lin's expression remained unchanged. He simply said, "You can try again." The demon general's expression fluctuated. Although he suspected that the divine art of the opponent was merely an illusion without real offensive power, this was just a suspicion. Even though he had a 9/10 certainty, the flash of life and death just now made him unwilling to take that gamble. That palm strike, he still felt a tremor in his heart when he recalled it. This is your trump card. The demon general remained silent for a long time before speaking. Wang Lin did not offer any explanation. He knew that the more he explained, the more flaws would appear. This move was an illusion. In truth, anyone who saw it would harbor doubts. But doubt is just doubt, and it would never become certainty. So, he did not speak, merely staring calmly at the demon general. The demon general secretly sighed. He still lacked the courage to bet the one chance of truth against his 9/10 doubt. If this were true, then it would be life or death. Such a divine art. With this person's cultivation, if truly unleashed, it would likely cause tremendous backlash. It might even cause him to collapse from the strain. That's why he only struck with an illusory palm. The demon general could only offer this explanation to justify the situation in his mind. However, his doubts persisted, though he forcefully suppressed them. 13. Where is he? Wang Lin spoke calmly. I need 18 people with sufficient body strength to refine this magic weapon. This closed-door retreat was meant to refine these 18 individuals. You came to me for this person, and since you are the commander, I will return him to you. However, you killed tens of thousands of my demon soldiers and destroyed my 10-mile city gate. This cannot be easily overlooked. The demon general spoke slowly. Wang Lin's expression did not change in the slightest as he said, "What do you want?" In 3 months, I must return to the Heavenly Demon Province's Sky Demon capital to report. There will be a competition among the demon generals of various places. If you agree to assist me, I will no longer pursue the matter of killing my demon soldiers. Otherwise, even if I die in battle, you will never be able to stand firm in this Heavenly Demon Province." The demon general stared at Wang Lin and said. At this moment, he had already regarded Wang Lin as an equal. Even without considering the illusory palm strike, just the fact that Wang Lin could break through his 10-collapse fist intent and withstand the demon sea waves caused his status in the demon general's eyes to skyrocket. This person's cultivation is on par with mine. If it weren't for his divine art not being comparable to mine, this battle would be extremely difficult. Thinking of the divine art, he couldn't help but recall the palm strike, and his earlier thought that the opponent's divine art was weaker than his own instantly vanished. Compared to that palm, what does my divine ability even count for? I'm afraid only the demon emperor could stand against such a power. The demon general sighed inwardly. Wang Lin pondered for a moment before nodding. The demon general let out a hearty laugh, and in that instant, all previous grievances vanished. He said, "Good. From today, you will be my first deputy commander of the left-wing demon general Mo Lihai's forces. If I manage to enter the top 3 demon generals in the capital, I'll help you request a general's position from the demon emperor. By then, you'll control a city and command 100,000 demon soldiers, giving you an advantage over most outsiders." As he spoke, he waved his right hand, and a black vortex appeared in the air. Inside the vortex, countless stars twinkled. With a casual flick, the demon general shattered one of the stars. From within the vortex, a figure materialized, flying out and landing before Wang Lin. It was Xun'er. His words were meant to comfort Wang Lin and to attract him with the prospect of the general's position, ensuring that Wang Lin would give his all in helping him. At the same time, he did not use Xun'er to threaten him, which made his approach seem more straightforward and sincere. However, all of this was only because he had witnessed Wang Lin's strength, particularly after feeling the power of that palm strike. Despite some doubt, he dared not take any chances, for doubt is just that, doubt. Without certainty, he wouldn't risk it. The more intelligent a person, the more cautious they become. For a demon general to reach such a level of cultivation, despite his rough exterior, he was far from foolish. In fact, his intellect was just as sharp as Wang Lin's, if not sharper. "I will return in 3 months. Wang Lin scanned Xun'er with his divine sense and found no injuries, only that he was unconscious. He grasped the air with his right hand, lifted Xun'er, and stepped forward, vanishing into the horizon. The demon general, hands clasped behind his back, gazed up at the sky. After a moment of silence, he shook his head slightly. The several elders outside, all at the late infant metamorphosis stage, hurried toward him. They had watched the battle earlier, and the 5 of them had been deeply shaken, unable to recover for a long time. Now that Wang Lin had left, they finally regained their composure. "Demon General, I believe that man's palm strike was a mere illusion. If you had made your move, you could have captured him," one of the elders said gravely. "Even though we know with 90% certainty that his palm was just a bluff, I still can't bring myself to gamble on it. If he truly only knows how to use illusory palms, the fact that I hesitate shows his intelligence. It's this ability to blur the line between truth and illusion that makes him not someone to be underestimated. Also, 1 year ago, when he broke my 10-collapse fist intent, he used a secret technique to dispel the 7th collapse. A year later, his cultivation has surged. He disappeared with Commander Yao, yet only he returned. There's something hidden there, but it has nothing to do with me." The demon general spoke slowly. These words were meant for the 5, but more for his own reflection. The 5 remained silent, their gazes turning upwards to where Wang Lin had vanished, a complex mixture of emotions rising within them. While Wang Lin was in midair, his divine sense had already spread out, locating the dark prison within the ancient demon city. His body flickered, and with the unconscious Xun'er in tow, he appeared outside the prison. The dark prison was located beneath the ancient demon city. Though there were formation seals in place, they could not restrict Wang Lin, except for the deepest parts of the prison. Tiger Roar's identity could not be confined in the deepest part. Wang Lin's divine sense swept through the area, but he did not find Tiger Roar. With a sigh, he vanished. Wang Lin's speed was tremendous. After reaching the peak of the late infant metamorphosis stage, his speed had multiplied several times. Even while carrying Tiger Roar, he returned to the soul refining tribe in no time. A flash of light appeared several dozen miles outside the soul refining tribe. Wang Lin appeared, and in front of him stood the tribe, swaying in view. Though the soul refining tribe had not expanded in the past year, the tribe's people had been continuously cultivating. Within a 10-mile radius, the entire area was under their control. Above 10 miles in the sky, thick black mist gathered, and from within it, souls occasionally flashed by. The mournful howling echoed through the air. The tribe's people had long been accustomed to this constant sound. The more sorrowful the wail, the more souls were present. At this moment, most of the tribe members were cultivating, with soul banners floating before them. Souls would fly out from the banners, merging into the black mist in the sky, only to return again, merging back into the banners. When Wang Lin arrived, he stepped forward with lightning speed, heading straight for the soul refining tribe. Along the way, he smiled, already noticing more than 10 people hidden in various locations, closely observing their surroundings. These people were familiar to him. Their duty was to guard the outer perimeter. Wang Lin's divine sense swept out, and within 100 miles, there were hundreds of such guards. As Wang Lin took a step, it didn't take long before he neared the tribe. About 100 feet from the tribe, his body paused, and he came to a halt. A gust of wind whipped up from behind him, blowing forward. As soon as his body stopped, someone immediately saw Wang Lin. They froze for a moment, then their eyes shone with wild joy. "Ancestor!" A joyful exclamation echoed, instantly waking many people. In the blink of an eye, all the practitioners in the tribe stood up. Ouyang Hua transformed into a swirl of black mist, charging out of the tribe, stopping more than 10 feet in front of Wang Lin. With an expression full of excitement, he respectfully said, "Welcome back, ancestor." At the same time, all the tribe's people kneeled on one knee in unison, saying, "Welcome back, ancestor." Wang Lin had returned to the soul refining tribe 3 days ago. 13 had already been awakened by him using a spell. As soon as 13 regained consciousness, the first thing he saw was Wang Lin. A wave of intense emotion surged through him. Wang Lin briefly learned about the events that had transpired over the past year and more from 13. When the topic of Tiger Roar came up, Wang Lin sighed inwardly. Tiger Roar had disappeared in the dark prison, and there were many signs pointing to something strange. He had once used his spiritual sense to sweep through the ancient demon city. With his perfected late infant metamorphosis stage cultivation, he found no trace of Tiger Roar. Tiger Roar practiced the soul refining art that Wang Lin had taught him. Using this technique, one could refine souls, but the ultimate control remained in Wang Lin's hands. However, right now, Wang Lin's spiritual sense could not detect any trace of Tiger Roar's soul refining. If Tiger Roar is not dead, he must be in a peculiar place. Otherwise, I wouldn't have missed it. Wang Lin mused for a moment before deciding not to think about Tiger Roar anymore. He had already done all he could. Looking up at 13, Wang Lin recalled the reason he had brought both 13 and Tiger Roar to the ancient demon city was to test them. If they passed the test, Wang Lin would teach them new divine abilities. For example, for Tiger Roar, soul refining wasn't the only thing. There was also soul extraction. However, soul extraction was much more advanced than soul refining. Though it had already been modified by Wang Lin, it was not something that would be easily shared. As for 13, Wang Lin had briefly considered teaching him the ancient god art, but immediately rejected the idea. The ancient god art could never be passed on. Yet, over the past year, 13 had performed excellently in Wang Lin's test. Wang Lin could feel that, at least for the next few decades, 13 would be completely loyal to him. While on Vermilion Bird Star, Wang Lin had dealt with the giant demon clan several times. When he killed the ancestor of the giant demon clan, he even obtained their storage pouch. Inside the pouch, besides a small vial of ancient god blood and a fragment of the Lust Dao soul wheel, there were also several jade slips. One of these jade slips contained a cultivation technique known as the Giant Spirit 9 Refinements. Wang Lin had only glanced at it briefly at the time, not paying it much attention. Now, looking at 13, Wang Lin touched his storage pouch, and a cyan jade slip appeared in his hand. This is the one. Wang Lin scanned the slip with his spiritual sense. The giant spirit 9 refinements contained 9 levels, focusing on body refinement. After memorizing the first 6 levels, Wang Lin erased the last 3 and tossed it to 13. 13 eagerly caught the jade slip. His gratitude toward Wang Lin was beyond words. He kneeled and kowtowed several times before solemnly saying, "Ancestor, in this life, I will only follow your command. Protect the soul refining tribe well. Go." Wang Lin waved his right hand, and a gentle breeze swept up 13, carrying him outside the valley. Wang Lin sat cross-legged in the valley alone. Dark mist swirled in the sky above. This mist was formed by the soul banner, which nourished souls most effectively. When I was in the ancient demon city, I could safely leave the soul banner here to nourish souls, but in 3 months, I need to head to Heavenly Demon Province. The distance is too far, so this banner cannot stay here. Wang Lin gazed at the mist in the sky before closing his eyes and meditating. At this moment, far to the west of the soul refining valley, perhaps several hundred miles away, across much of Heavenly Demon Province, there lay an endless desert. This place, within the land of demonic spirits, was infamous. It was said that countless years ago, this had been an ancient battlefield. For millions of miles around, the ground was littered with broken corpses, and the earth had turned a dark red. Just looking at it, one could feel an overwhelming sense of oppression. Around this ancient battlefield, there was an invisible restriction seal, dividing the area from the outside world. At this moment, in the middle of the ancient battlefield, a young man sat cross-legged. Around him, more than 100 small black flags hovered, moving without wind. Souls flew out from these flags, circling around him. A thin black mist enveloped his body. Though not thick, its presence gradually roused the many heroic spirits that had lain dormant for countless years in the ancient battlefield. Each time a soul is awakened, a violent black aura bursts from the ground, merging into the black mist, swirling a few times before drilling into a small flag. Standing 100 paces away from the youth, an elderly man in black robes observed him coldly. After a short while, he spoke in a flat tone. "Enough! Cease cultivation!" Upon hearing this, the youth immediately formed a seal with his hands, causing the small flags to flicker with black light and fall into the man's hands. At that moment, the youth opened his eyes. The instant he saw the elderly man, he immediately stood up and respectfully said, "Tiger Roar greets my benefactor." The elderly man nodded and said, "Very good. Given time, if you can refine all the souls in this ancient battlefield with the power of your soul banner divine ability, there will be no place in the land of demonic spirits that you cannot go." Tiger Roar's face showed excitement as he said, "All of this is thanks to my benefactor. You saved my life, taught me the divine arts, and brought me here to refine the souls. All these deeds, Tiger Roar will forever remember." The elderly man's expression remained indifferent as he replied, "If it weren't for your peculiar cultivation technique, something I have never seen before, I wouldn't have saved you. By the way, the master you had before, who reappeared in the ancient demon city and fought with the demon generals, rescued 13. But I arrived too late." Tiger Roar's eyes darkened with complexity as he said, "If I refine all the souls here, the first thing I will do is kill this Wang Lin." The elderly man glanced at Tiger Roar and asked, "He did teach you the art of soul refinement. Why are you so intent on killing him?" Tiger Roar fell silent for a moment, then coldly chuckled. "Though he taught me the divine arts, his intentions were malicious. If it weren't for him, how could I have incurred the wrath of Sima Yin and been thrown into the Black Prison? During those months in the Black Prison, I once hoped Wang Lin would come to rescue me, but that hope faded with the unbearable suffering. While I was being tortured, where was he? When I was tormented, where was he? In the end, all my hope turned into hatred. If it weren't for him, I would never have suffered so. Fortunately, my benefactor saved me. The moment I stepped out of the Black Prison, I swore I would never be a servant again." The elderly man's cold face gradually revealed a faint smile. "Good. With such decisive thoughts, you are truly someone I value." After finishing, The elderly man turned and took a step forward, transforming into a wisp of black smoke, vanishing on the spot. Tiger Roar clenched his fists, gazing into the distance, murmuring, 13 is a simple person, yet he was deceived by Wang Lin. After those months in the black prison, I finally understood. Wang Lin, he treated me and 13 as pawns. Wang Lin, when the day comes that I unleash the soul banner and release millions of souls, I will see how you react, how you will resist my millions of souls. The world-destroying technique my benefactor taught me. Once I reach the 4th layer, I will have boundless demon power. Wang Lin, see me in, wait for it. Tiger Roar's eyes revealed a deep killing intent. Deep within the ancient battlefield stood a tall tower, entirely black in color. The tower reached several dozen meters high, surrounded by black halos that scattered outward. These halos seemed to absorb all the light from the heavens and earth, and from a distance, the tower exuded an eerie, majestic aura. The figure of the elderly man appeared outside the black tower. He took a deep breath, and with a slight shift of his body, he stepped into the tower. At the very top of the tower, he knelt on both knees. Before him lay a set of armor. The armor was ancient and did not resemble anything modern. Anyone with a discerning eye would immediately recognize that this armor was of extraordinary origin. It was perfectly preserved, completely black, with countless cloud patterns engraved on it. These clouds were now black, giving off a strange feeling. When the armor was assembled, it looked as though someone was seated cross-legged inside, giving off an overwhelming sense of power. Strange energy radiated from the armor, filling the entire tower. Within the helmet of the armor, 2 faint beams of light suddenly flickered, resembling eyes, and locked onto the elderly man. As the light flared up, the world outside the tower trembled, as though an immortal spirit had descended. The elderly man took a deep breath and respectfully said, I have confirmed, the Demon Emperor Scorpio of Heavenly Demon Province should have broken through the final step 1,000 years ago, but has forcibly delayed it. The faint light within the armor flickered again, and an invisible chill seemed to emanate from the light. The elderly man shuddered, beads of sweat forming. After a long pause, the light settled into the elderly man's eyes, as if transmitting information. After a few moments, the light gradually faded, and the armor returned to its original state, the strange aura dissipating. The elderly man was drenched in sweat, and he spoke softly, understood. After saying this, he stood up and respectfully left the highest floor. On the first floor of the tower, the elderly man once again sat cross-legged. This time, he clearly relaxed. The Tiger Roar child, if he absorbs a vast amount of souls, with the strange powers of soul-refining art combined with my techniques and pills, can rapidly advance in cultivation in a short time. At that point, he could practice the momentary burst technique passed down by the master, concentrating all his lifespan and potential to erupt within the span of an hour. This way, he could become one of the demon guards. The soul-refining art is incredibly mysterious, but I always feel there's some flaw in it. Unfortunately, the master has only recently awakened, and I cannot trouble him with such trivial matters. If it weren't for this person's mastery of the soul-refining art, his qualifications and status would never have been enough for me to value him and train him as a demon guard. For now, he shall serve as an experiment. If it succeeds, I might just visit the soul-refining tribe.